My name is Wayne Harris III. I'm a veteran, honorably discharged veteran.
My name is Pat Molesky. I'm a retired Staff Sergeant, United States Army. Spent 20 years in service.
My name is Ronald Pittman, and I am a U.S. Air Force veteran.
You know, you hear good and bad about the VA administration, but we have 107,000 veterans in the United States that are homeless. So it's clearly something needs to be done because no veteran should be homeless.
I think as a community we know our veterans, we hear a lot, you know, the regular everyday person hears, you know, support your veterans. And I think as a community and society, you know, we get that. Of course we would. Why wouldn't we support our veterans? Of course. But I don't think the average person really understands how much trouble our veterans are in.
When I returned, I didn't receive any compensation until earlier this year. So there was a 10-year spread before I received any compensation from any of my disabilities that I received when in the service. I was able to support myself for the first 10 years after I got out. I was still relatively young, and then I developed heart problems. And I had 3 heart attacks within 2 years and lost my employment and lost an ability to get a job because nobody wants to hire anybody that's already had 3 heart attacks.
I became homeless because my support group was very small, very limited. My mother wasn't around, my father had been incarcerated, my other family members were just sparse, so I had to depend on my brother, which was the only person that was around, and there was a lot of assumption when I got out that I was supposed to have a lot of money, which was not the case. He insisted on asking me for money that I did not have, and I ended up on the east side of Detroit, just pretty much going from place to place. I ended up roaming the streets and for 15, almost 16 months, living in abandoned buildings. It was hard, but I pretty much did that for, like I said, a year and a half, and there was not any relief up until I had came to a point where I wanted to kill myself, and I was tired of it. I was tired of struggling. I was tired of feeling worthless because I had felt like I'd done a lot. Because it took a lot for me to actually stand up in my heart and say, well, I did do something right for my country, because a lot of things that I saw when I was deployed was it was unimaginable.
I was 2 days away from being evicted, and I called the county, and a county worker said, well, we got just the place for you. I'm going to refer you to a place called Vets Returning Home, and I want you to talk to Sandy Bauer, and that's what I did.
To really know the problems that our veterans are having, I couldn't just ignore that. So once I found out about that, I just knew that was the direction that I would pursue as far as my being able to make a difference. Vets Returning Home is a transitional housing facility and program. We're an 11,000 square foot facility in Roseville, and we have 43 beds. So we house veterans here on premise. We have a full dining room, commercial kitchen, laundry room, resource center, theater room, clothing closet, all of that. We got the building August 1st, 2013. We got our occupancy permit October 1st of 2013. On August 3rd, we got our first veteran that walked through the door. And he had been sleeping on the bench outside of Checkers fast food for 3 weeks. And I said to him, I don't even know how to turn the lights on in the building yet. We don't really have anything to offer you, but I could certainly give you a sleeping bag, and you're welcome to stay here. It'll be more comfortable than the bench outside of Checkers. And now he lives in Houghton Lake with a family member. He was a good man. We've been here 2 years and have housed I don't know, somewhere between 270 to 290 veterans here on premise.
When I heard about vets returning home, I was like, okay, at least it's a veterans place, but I thought the typical nightmarish views that you see on TV and the movies about a homeless shelter. I was anxiety filled when I was going there. And once I got into the lobby, I mellowed out a little bit, and then when I took the tour, I was like, yeah, I think I can handle this.
You know, you can't help someone while they're sleeping under the viaduct. You can't get someone stable if they're sleeping in their car. So the first thing we do is we bring them here to our facility. We tell them when they first come in, this is their time to take the pack off. We're going to do the heavy lifting. During the first 5 to 10 days, they go through a complete assessment with our therapist, our nurse, and our case manager, which is me. So they meet with all three of us. We put together a program designed specifically to first identify the issues that brought these veterans to crisis. And then this program is designed to address each of those issues to get them stable.
Central Macomb will work with the center in being able to provide different types of education. For instance, we've went down and we've provided financial education as it relates to how do we get your credit report back in shape.
It's the one common denominator in all the veterans that have housed here. They don't know how to set a personal budget. They don't know how to make good financial decisions. So that support from the credit union has been awesome.
The veterans that we have done seminars for, we have seen them in our offices here at the main office. We will work with them in opening up their account. It seems like every new time that I go to do a seminar there, what is very fortunate is it's a different group. So that lets us know that Sandy's doing the right things. The last time I was there doing a presentation right before the seminar, she was speaking with one of the veterans and she was getting him prepared for an interview that he was having the next day. And so another gift that Sandy is able to do is she has many, many contacts, and those contacts are getting our veterans jobs.
Once we stabilize them, then we either get them connected with those benefits that they've earned or find them employment. Employers are very supportive and want to hire our veterans. And so our guys are getting good jobs at Ford and Roush and Baker Aerospace. And once we get them either connected with their benefits and or employed, then we move them into permanent housing.
When I came and met Sandy and talked to her here, that 2.5-hour interview was a lot about going through the program and what it is, and I got to walk through the whole facility and all the things they do, and the thought process she put into making sure this program was entirely rounded to help somebody with nothing get back to where they need to be. It was impressive. It's the work, in my mind, the work of genius. She thought of every little thing. So within a month, I gave up my job, I gave up my apartment, and I said I'll be here full time. I told Sandy, you are my hero. I'm going to put my feet to the fire for you, because this is worth it.
We at Vets Returning Home furnish their apartments through donations. So when our veterans secure their apartment, they go down to the storage unit, they tag whatever it is that they want, and then we move their furniture into their apartment. We furnish their pantries, we fill their pantries and their refrigerators, and then connect them on an ongoing basis. That open door that says, when you're dealing with anything in the future, call me first.
When we had approached Sandy about the center, it was almost like a blessing. Sandy was just getting started and she was having a really rough time and just very concerned on where she was going to get the dollars to be able to provide all of the things that the veterans needed. And our board of directors were very generous. And instead of doing specific items, we were able to donate a certain amount and allow Sandy to use it as she needed to.
I don't know if it's a angelic drive, whatever you'd like to call it, but the thing is, throughout her history, I've seen letters of people she's been helping out for many years, people she's been mentoring for many years. She seems to have what everybody needs at that given moment.
Sandy is a kind-hearted, big meanie. She makes sure you're working the program. Literally at times, Sandy is a literal lifesaver. She brings new life to people, new direction, and gets them in a stable place for the rest of their life. If I didn't go to Vets Returning Home, I'd hate to think about what my life would be like right now. If it didn't save my life, it's certainly saved me from a world of hardship.
The biggest message that I really want people to understand about Vets Returning Home, this is not a homeless shelter, you know, for drug addict, alcoholics. These are, you know, our sons, our brothers, and these guys need more help than you can imagine.